Hey, YouTube is another one of those videos where I just talk over a bunch of B-roll, and there's literally nothing else. It's basically kind of like raw footage, but, okay, let me make this simple. My mic is kind of low. I don't know why. I tried making it louder, and I just need a new microphone. So let me get straight to the point. I've been seeing a lot of these people, and I don't know if they're defects. I don't know if they're just random assholes that are trying to cause problems, but evidently there is all this talk going around, and since I'm not really in public anymore, well, I think it's probably the best idea to address it, because people are going to ask questions, and they're going to wonder, like, who are these guys commenting that Richard is not the true successor, because the leader said he is? And, honestly, I mean, I think it would seem better if I just ignored it, because obviously it's like, oh, it's Christ, why is Alec addressing these issues if it's not a problem? Well, it isn't a problem, it's just people who are annoying, and a lot of these people doing this shit are probably loyal and don't realize that posting all this bullshit about how it's all gonna fall apart are actually being disloyal. So I'm just getting straight to the point. Okay, a lot of people have been talking shit about Richard, and I've made 3 podcasts about Richard. Go watch them. If you haven't already, for the love of God, go watch them. Because at this point, some of these guys want to debate me, and I'm like, oh, wait, how about this? All of your questions are the same shit I've addressed in previous podcasts. So before you debate me, go watch those podcasts. I don't care when. I don't know if it's at night or in a car. Go watch those podcasts, then debate me. And then we'll see if there's anything new you can bring to the table. I am tired of making podcasts on Richard to explain what is going on. And I'm tired of telling people to just follow orders and just listen. It's apparent that people are retarded or something and can't realize the hint, okay? If you have a problem with Richard, it's because he disciplined you. It's because you were told to write a apology for a whole 100 words, and now you have this big issue. Okay, the reason why I'm not really phased is because I've been writing like 5,000 words a day on a freaking book, and it takes like 2 hours, and then I hear that someone got in trouble for saying shit Richard didn't like, and they're getting pissed off because they're told to do something. Last I checked, the Richterism doctrine specifically states that everyone is unconditionally loyal and unconditionally obedient to the cause. If you don't know what that means, I will explain very gladly what the hell that even means. Unconditioned means there are no conditions, okay? Unless for whatever reason it's literally autistic, which, to be honest, explaining someone isn't autistic if it's reasonable. If you're told to, like, kill yourself, then yeah, obviously I'd be concerned. But as you all probably know, that hasn't happened yet, and it probably won't happen, because if it did, well, it'd be a major crisis. So, as far as I'm concerned, I seriously doubt we're just going to start ordering people to kill themselves over a Lego game. So let me go back to the original point. The shit he's been ordering is justified. And you might not like it because, oh, I made a joke. I made a joke about Richard. Okay, what if you called me a faggot jokingly? Would I have an issue? Yes, I would. That's why nobody calls me a faggot. That's why nobody jokes around with me that often, because obviously I take it seriously. Now, I don't want to spur out. I don't want to go on this big tangent just because of all these issues. I know the internet's going to eat this up. Be like, oh, he's mad. Alec is angry. Alec is angry. Make more videos, make fun of Alec. He's being angry. I don't really care. Okay, the main problem is being addressed, and I'm going to address it however I like. So, carrying on. It's apparent that some of you guys complaining are just pussies. And whether you're gonna blame me on that, then you're disloyal and you're nothing else but as bad as everyone else. Okay, I don't care how many loyalists leave because of treason. As far as I'm concerned, 7 people left. Not 7 bloodline, 7 individuals left. Do you guys have any idea how many people left when we lost Korea? Or when Octavia was going inactive after Paris? Or during Alamande? Or during any other crisis that we've ever had? I mean, honestly, we've been through this shit so many times that at this point you should all know, you should all realize and understand that this is nothing. I purged 100 people in 2018 for not being loyal enough. Richard is purging people for not being obedient to him. That is literally that is more lenient than I was in 2018. In 2018, I was literally, dare I say this because I'm shitting on myself essentially, or shitting on my old self, I was literally wild banshee angry and exiling people for messing up in line. I'd literally go ban this individual. I'd ban them for falling out of line without me telling them to. That's how strict I was. And now we have these pussies going around saying, oh my god, I jokingly called Richard a retard, and now I'm being told to write 300 words. Like, oh my god. Like, do you guys have any idea what you signed up for? Like, I don't understand why when it comes to me, you guys are like, oh, well, you know, you have respect for me. At the same time, Richard is not very different. Richard led a group called Korea, and it did pretty well. He rallied 50 people. So for someone to say that Richard and I are different, the only thing between Richard and I is that Richard actually has more balls to exile people while I've been busy doing something else. And I've never said about anyone else. But at this point, the more I see these shitty comments about Richard, the more determined I am to defend him. Okay, let me put that straight right now. You're not going to encourage me to remove Richard by leaving angry comments about him. You're going to make me more angry at you, and I'm just going to rise him up even further. So if you want to make another angry comment, want to make another pissed off something about Richard, go right ahead, go right ahead. But as far as I'm concerned, those who are angry are in the minority. And there is no major civil war, there is no coup, there is no major crisis where everything's going to fall apart. Again, yes, I'm making this reaction video and saying, like, holy shit, like, you guys are autistic or whatever, whoever I'm referring to. But at the same time, I mean, I can't be asked to attend a rally on Saturday to address it, so I'm addressing it right now. This is the address you're all going to get, so bear with me here. I mean, honestly, it doesn't really make any sense. I mean, I've exiled more people in January. I think it was like 20 people got exiled, Bloodline members, by the way, got exiled. Or was it in December? December or January, it was like a lot of people got exiled. And then following that, we lost Korea. And following that, we lost America. We've been in such a shitty position prior. And now all these people are coming around. And I'm pretty sure that it's just anti-richter defects. I'm pretty sure the majority of these people saying this shit are just angry people that lost a position and are now commenting because they want to get influence out there. It's just like Polish Rifle. It's just like any other traitor that is left. What they want to do is they're going to spread bullshit. They're going to try and get more people on their side, and they're going to manipulate people to do this. That's what they're going to do. And if you fall for their trap, then you are literally as brain dead as they are. You're not going to make me feel bad because apparently, I mean, I could lose the entire following, would I care? No. Okay, what is happening, and it is going to succeed. And if you don't believe me, then you were never loyal to begin with. I didn't create this entire group to have yes men that fake their loyalty, and then the minute I assign someone competent to lead the group, you know, suddenly it's an exception to be disloyal and shit on him. It's my decision. Okay, the council voted him in, yeah, but to be fair, I thought he was the best person for the job as well. And that's why I approved it. If I thought someone else was better, I would have said, no, let's put in Arcs. No, let's put in Dragunov. But last I checked, none of these assholes that are trying to rebel against me wanted successor. Oswald didn't want successor. Okay? And now Oswald is, like, planning this civil war in 2020 or 2022. But the funny thing is I prophesized this. You know? I mean, literally, I talked to Oswald, I think, on the 14th of April, and we discussed this. I said, Oswald, I know you said you're going to remain loyal. I know you said you're not going to lead a civil war against Richter in 2022, but I am very, very confident that this could be you. And people are like, what are you, some kind of, like, prophet? Do you think you're some kind of god that can predict things? It's like, no, I'm not saying I'm a god that can predict, like, everything in the future. I mean, am I saying that? No. All I'm saying is I predicted this. That doesn't make me a prophet. That just means I'm good at predicting shit. I predicted people's downfalls. I predicted people's rise to power. And I predicted when we're going to rise and when we're going to fall. And I've already predicted Oswald doing this shit. I don't know if you'll remember, but when we had the trial and in the aftermath, I literally said that I'm not on Oswald's side and I'm not on Polish's side. I don't care who's right and who's wrong. I care about people's loyalty. Okay? Even if Polish was right about Oswald, which he was kind of right, not giving him full credit, but he was kind of right, I didn't care he was right. He talked shit about me, I exiled him. There is no excuse. And if you do the same thing with Richard, if you're like, oh, well, you know, since Alec is harboring Richard, I mean, I guess, you know, blah, 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 okay, I'm going to exile you, and I don't care what everything about Richard because you're against me. If you're not with me, then you're against me. It's that simple. And that's what these people are doing. Some of these people that recently have been exiled, and there's a
bigger list being made of those I'm going to purge before I leave, because obviously people just don't get it. They just don't understand it. I mean, I've literally said, like, can I just purge half my following to prove a point that we're not going to die either way? I will, I can, but I'm not going to because it's not really necessary. We have a lot of good fanatics, and we've had more fanatics than we've ever had before. So there's not really a need to go on a huge purge, but there will be a smaller purge that might purge like 20 different people. And after that's done, there shouldn't be any more issues in regards to people being retarded. But, I mean, I've literally predicted most of this stuff. Oswald swore up and down that he wouldn't betray me, that he wouldn't betray Richard. Okay, I'll admit that I didn't think Oswald's going to go the full route and then proceed to, how do I put this, join Lavo and communicate with old traitors, or whatever that is, okay? I didn't know that was going to happen. I, however, knew that Oswald would eventually, go against Richard and lead this sort of collectivized, quote-unquote, revolt. If you are against Richard, then you are against me. Because Oswald and the other defects are against both me, and they are against Richard. And if they tell you otherwise, they are lying, and it will not matter. That is how I see it. And if you are a true, quote-unquote, richterist, as I've dubbed for the past past 3 years, then obviously you would abide by my requests. And if you disagree, then you are never, and never will be, a true, quote-unquote, richterist, okay? It's that simple. So, I mean, if you are in this civil war, then it isn't really a civil war, is it? Because, obviously, the core values of the entire ideology all rest on me. There is no such thing as Richterism without me. It is literally solidified in the system. And I doubt Oswald will want to re-establish it, but I am willing to promise everyone that a year from now, more or less, that he's going to try and do that. Okay? And like I said before, Oswald swore up and down that he would not betray, he would not do any of these things. And you know what I said? I said that Peter denied Christ 3 times after he was arrested. Before Peter was arrested in the Bible, what actually happened was Christ told Peter this, and Peter said, no, of course I won't, do any of these things you say I will. And Peter did this. And that's all I really want to say about Oswald. I know I've been quiet about it, and there will be an address on Saturday regarding the whole situation, I suppose. That's up to Richard, though, because I can't, like I said, be asked with this Lego drama, which is why I'm doing it now and not on Saturday. It's honestly quite simple, okay? There is a small setback because of an inflation on Roblox that is regarding Robux. I cannot launch ads for 20,000 because if I do, it won't do anything. It's not because we have a shitty group, it's because the inflation is so bad that Viking Law has put ads up for hundreds and hundreds and hundred thousands of Robux, and as a result, every group that launches less than 80,000 Robux will not get very much progress from it. This is on a global scale. There is literally nothing I can do unless I run ads for a large sum of money. So, if you disagree, or if you want to debate that with me, I mean, feel free. Just don't waste my time. I've been having these idiots come around, they're like, oh, I want to debate you on this. And like 10 seconds in, they say the same shit I've discussed on the podcast. They're like, oh, Richard's going to fail, it's all going to fall apart. I'm like, no. I said this before on the 3 previous podcasts. The 3 previous podcasts have addressed Richard and have addressed these rumors that everything's going to fall apart. I mean, do any of you know the last time this happened when Sim was successor? When Sim was the successor of the Richters in 2019. Okay? And yet, the Richters were still alive. They were still rallying like 40 people in Tehran. They were still making groups and leading raids and being active. And that was under Sim. The most, dare I say this, submissive, incompetent general, at least, in the entire collective. He was the successor back then. Why he was, well, I have no freaking idea, but he was. So those who say Richard is going to destroy everything, do you have autism? Do you have a brain tumor? Do you have mental derangement system? I mean, to me, it's common sense. To us who are actually loyal and actually understand the cause and their history, understand that those who are spreading these rumors are either 2 things. They're either, as I just said, they're either people that know we're going to succeed and are just spreading bullshit to bring more people onto their side, because obviously if someone agrees with them, then they're getting exiled, right? Or they're just extremely, extremely stupid not only that, but they're extremely angry at Richard because you hurt his feelings or whatever, and now they're pissed off. Regardless, I think it's fair to say that all these claims are absolute nonsense bullshit backed up by no evidence. Okay, riddle me this. Oswald led a group, and it died within the first few days. Richard led Korea, and it never died. It lasted until it got stolen by the Rhinegold's. Then we relaunched it, and it survived another 2 weeks, until Oswald once again failed me, and I have the entire Inquisition, whatever you want to call them, the inner circle, as my witness to this. We debated this, and he admitted that it was his fault for the army being inactive, because during Korea, the only active branches was the party and the government. The army was completely dead, which affected Korea as a whole. So had Oswald not been Supreme Commander, it would have still been alive. That's why the army died. The party was still alive and active, but it wasn't as active as the last Korea. But either way, Richard is a better leader than Oswald. So, I mean, there's my evidence. So far, I don't think you can debunk that because, I mean, I have like over 100 witnesses from Korea itself, and I have myself as a freaking testimony. So I'm not pulling bullshit out of my ass. I mean, this is not really your successorship. This is my successorship. I'm the one appointing the person to lead my people. Okay? If you were to pull this paranoia out that I am being selfish or that I am just, like, there's no way you could justify me harboring Richard. I mean, literally, it has nothing to do with selfishness. It has everything to do with the fact that people don't want someone that is actually competent and, once again, has more, maybe not use the term balls, but has more testosterone to excel people. No offense to myself, but it's obvious that when it comes to purges, he's done a lot more of that than I have. And that's not me saying I'm incompetent. That's just, I mean, I'm just old. I can't be asked to go out on people and purge them on every day based on things because, first of all, nobody really does anything to me. Everyone's been respectful and loyal. Richard only has that problem because it seems people just don't like Richard. They don't like the fact that he is strict and that I'm not. I think that's the main issue. Is people look at me and they're like, well, Alec is respectful, Alec is charismatic, and Richard, maybe he's charismatic, but he's not really respectful. Okay, where in the doctrine does it say that the leader must be respectful? Where does it say that the leader must be loyal to his people? Okay? I mean, yeah, I have said recently that I have been loyal to the people, but before that, I said I wasn't loyal to the people. And yeah, that's a lie because I always have been. But I said that because obviously I was testing all of you. Do you all not realize that Richard is testing all of your loyalty? Okay? That is why Richard is being harsh. That is why he's saying he's not loyal to any of you. That is why Richard is doing all these harsh things to test your willpower, just like I did 3 years ago. And yeah, I don't want to expose Richard and say, oh yeah, he's just testing people. But honestly, I mean, I care more about the successorship, and I care more about people not being retarded. So at this point, I see why not to say that Richard is one of the best loyalty tests that we've probably ever had in a while. Maybe not ever had. I've had better ones. But in a while, he's been pretty effective with his testing. If I have to get people to be disloyal by having an individual under my command distribute these harsh commands, then holy shit, why not keep doing it? If there's more people that get pissed off that easily by being asked to write a 300-word apology for doing something small, then holy shit, I might as well pursue it because people are going to easily get triggered by it. Because I don't want snowflakes in the successorship. I don't want pussies in the successorship following the next generations. I want hardened men that will be examples like Jonas, who will do thousands of helljacks just to make a point that the loyalty is high, the morale is high, and no matter what, we're going to survive. I think I nailed the head pretty well on that. And I think that I don't even think I need to debate some of this, but I think anyone that has a brain to understand everything I just said and should just move on. At this point, if you're going to resort to being toxic, well, not toxic, but being in this position of, oh, we're gonna oppose Richard, and we're gonna, Alec is being stupid, and like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess my IQ just decelerated, and apparently by having a life, my IQ is deteriorating. despite the fact I've had a 4.0 GPA. I mean, isn't that kind of ironic that I exposed my GPA being in like the high threes, like 3.8 or whatever? And you know, people respond. They say, "Oh my God, you know, Richard display the grades." They mock that. That's not because, you know, they think it's just a funny meme. They're trying to cope over the fact that I have good grades, I have a good life, and somehow I own a Lego group. That's why they're making fun of these things. That's why they're targeting all of these things. Because they know that I am very happy, that I am very successful, and I am having a hell of a good life right now. And they despise this. So they're going to mock every good positive aspect that hints that we are not going to fall apart. And that is not even refutable. That is the honest to God truth. Dare I say honest to God. But that from the heart, that's what I believe. From the heart and from the soul, that is what I believe they're doing. And if you disagree, we'll disagree. I'm not going to call you a retard for disagreeing, I guess. But you ought to all realize that you will look very, very stupid when you were on the wrong side of the field. And I know this was a very harsh, aggressive, whatever announcement. I've said this more times than I should at this point. But you know what they're also going to do? They're going to take this really good response video to all of the bullshit around Richard, and they're going to say, "Oh, Alec is fuming. Alec is angry. Alec is pissed off." And they're going to comment and say, "Oh my God, you know, Alec is freaking out. This is a hint that he's unstable, that he is just mentally unstable. And he's going off these prophecies like he's a prophet. He thinks he's a god." That's going to be their response. Mark my words. They're going to respond like that. Because they want to cover up how good of a response this is, and they're going to cope and seethe over how good it is. Because that's the anti-richterist. And those who are swayed by my loyalty tests, and those who are more offensive against Richard, be very, very careful. Because these anti-richters, the Solms, I mean, they've even said this. And Nassius Solm said in his very words that he is going to spew propaganda to make Richard look bad, and he is going to recruit Richters into his dynasty. This whole time, you have all been under attack by demoralization campaigns. And you all had no idea. I mean, at least those who have tried being defects had no idea. At the end of the day, mark my words, there will be activity, there will be prevalence, and there will be triumph. We will succeed, and we will have as many people as I predicted before on our games eventually. Not today, obviously, because of the inflation, which I had no idea would happen, but eventually there will be. There will be no downfall. There will be no capitulation. And be it me and 10 people or me and 1,000 people, we will still survive. We will still live on, and we will still thrive. And while the rest of you depend on these incompetent anti-richterists and these incompetent defects that think they can topple my stable regime, my dictatorship, right? My dictatorship, you know, joking. But, I mean, you all understand what I mean at this point. You all get the whole point of this and what I'm addressing. I mean, it's really not that hard to really understand what is going on here. It's quite easy. And I remember I told Eduardo, I said, look, I mean, I know that it takes a lot of an IQ points to understand my jokes and what I mean, but like, you know, this is what's going on. And a lot of you guys have sworn to not just follow me, but abide by my command. Now, I'm not saying when I leave to not retire and say, oh, well, if you retire, if you just, you know, not say my Richard, you're a traitor. I'm not saying to, you know, to, in a sense, you're not required to give him more loyalty than me. Okay, if you want to retire after I leave, be my guest. I don't really care. But those who come out, make up all this bullshit propaganda and say, oh, Richard's going to lead us to a downfall. Oh, Richard's going to do this and this and that. I mean, okay, right. Then who is going to? Who is going to lead the Richterist cause then? Who is going to stand by my side and do what Richard has done? Right. I mean, anyone want to suggest someone a lot better and competent and loyal that would lead the cause? Remember when the when people were saying, like, oh, Oswald is the better option, Richard's going to destroy everything. Oswald's the better option. You all better be lucky that I didn't screenshot the people that said that. Because you know where Oswald is now? Oswald is now the traitor. Oswald is now the traitor. And people suggested that he would have been a better successor. I mean, God forbid, because had I left, had Oswald been in command, not only would he be shit at leading groups like he failed TRI and failed the Korean army, but, I mean, he can't even do proper parades. He can't even schedule them properly. No offense to Oswald, but he was very slow at coordinating parades. So, I mean, besides that, he would have probably been more of an egotist. He would have been more into his ego than anything else. So if you all dare side with Oswald, well, keep in mind you have made the worst mistake of your future Roblox career if you're even close to being one of my great loyalists. Because I have predicted this, and it is going to happen. Oswald is going to rise up. He's going to try and build up this new Richterist cause. And those under him are going to say shit like, oh, Richard is not the true leader. Oswald is, because Oswald believes in true Richterist policy. They're going to say this. They're going to say this. And yeah, they're probably going to deny it after this video. But remember what I said before? It's not going to happen immediately. The Civil War is going to happen a year from now. And it will most likely be under Oswald. And if it's not, he'll still have a role in it. I'm pretty sure he'll have a role in it. If I'm incorrect, I'm incorrect. But it'll happen. And they're going to say that exact line. But nowhere in any future doctrine will I have something that says, maybe there's a condition where you can betray the successor. There is nothing in the Constitution that I'm going to make, nor in the doctrine that will say any of these things. Do not listen to them. They are trying to poison you with propaganda. Excuse me. And you cannot let them poison you with that manipulation. You either retire with me, and you come with me wherever I go, which, in all honesty, I'd rather go solo, but whatever. Or you stick around, and you maintain the banner under Richard. You hold on to that banner, because that is what I wanted you to do. Now, I don't usually make these videos. I don't usually make these very, these angry videos. I think people don't even realize this is how I speak. I mean, this is just part of my charisma. There's nothing to do with me being angry. I'm not fuming from the mouth. I love people say, like, oh, Alec is fuming. He's this angry being who yells and screams down the microphone. To be fair, I'm loud because my microphone quality is not the best. And second of all, it's part of the charisma, man. It's part of the aura. People like this shit. This is why I get followed. They love it when I go off. They say go off, King. They say go off, chat. You think I'm not going to go off on them? I must abide by the people. The will of the people is being stroked right now. So, they can have their final, they can have their laughs. They can laugh it off, say ha ha ha, they can mock me all they want. But at the end of the day, the truth will prevail, and we will have the last laugh. Because every time people try to predict our downfall, every time I have been opposed, they have failed. There has been no successful rebellion in Richterian history. No successful coup in Richterian history. And as far as I'm concerned, at least under me, there will never be one. As far as I'm aware. And if there ever is one, it will fail. Because I will never capitulate. At least as long as I am here, I will never capitulate. And the returning cause will never capitulate. Suck it up, losers. That's all I have to say. If you are a loyalist, if you are true to the cause, if you are standing by me, standing by Richard, regardless, then you will be written up in the book of the legends, in the book of the Richterians. And you will be remembered as one of the best loyalists there was. And Oswald will never have that ability again. You know what's going to happen now? When I write his name in that book, when I release it and everyone reads it, he will be regarded as nothing else but a selfish, egotistical fool that pretended to be loyal. And in the end of his days, in the final months of his regime, of his power, I knew this. I predicted this. Halfway. Mostly predicted it. And he got removed. He will not go down as the great marshal, as intended. There won't be songs sing about him, as intended. He is now a traitor. Anyone else has this fate. And you know how they cope? It's all just one big lie. I mean, Oswald did it because he wanted to fulfill the prophecy. He wants to fulfill the prophecy of him leading the Civil War. That's why he did it, in my opinion. I think it's a combination of that and the fact that he's not an asset. Oswald knows that he isn't an asset. He is, just like everyone else, he is expendable. Polish didn't like this. Vianney didn't like this. Okay, Dante, everyone that has defected in the past, at least all the major figures, didn't want to be expendable. They wanted to be assets. They wanted to be irreplaceable. You know what Oswald did after I removed him? He said, oh, I'll be back in another month. I'll be back soon. And over text, you can't really read if someone's being snarky or not. But trust me when I say this, he had a smile. He had a very big snarky smile and thought he was being smart when he wrote that up. Because in his mind, he says, oh my god, Von Wehr's the marshal. That's going to go to shit. I mean, Von Wehr was decent. I removed him. Now Richard's in command. And we had the best parade that we've ever had. The most organized, the most trained, the most everything. Better than we've seen before. And Oswald realized he's not going to replace me. So you know what Oswald did? Oswald got impatient and he realized, damn, if I'm just expendable like anyone else, then I might as well do my own thing. I might as well, destroy him. Because if they're not going down, or if I can't be a part of it, then nobody can. That's not even true. We did have plans to make Oswald Grand Marshal in the future. Do you know why I didn't tell him this? Because we were testing him. Because if we told him, he would have sat there and said, oh, they're going to be, I win. I'm an asset. They can't remove me. I'm irreplaceable. But he didn't know this. He didn't know we were going to do this. So he didn't have that mindset. He didn't have that mindset because of that. Because of that, he did not have that mindset. I've exposed everyone that I need to expose here. And I think the rest of you, it's up to you to figure out where the rest of the road will go. That is up to all of you. You are either with me or you are against me. And if you are against me, or at least if you're planning on going against me, I give you a task. I'd like you to name at least one group that I led and I built up that failed any of my promises. So if you go to any rally video I ever made, I have a list of promises before the actual group. I want you to go to each rally video I made before a group and list the promises and list which ones I failed on before making a group. This will prove I'm incompetent, right? Then, I want you to list the group, or I want you to list a person that has betrayed me that is somewhere relevant in his career, somewhere far. Find at least one individual that's betrayed me that is very far in his career, no matter how far back. The only condition, the only person ever is Christoph Kaidimos 2. You look up his username, he'll come up. He was a chairman of the party in 2016 of a group. That's the only person I've seen thus far that has gotten somewhere relevant and far in his community by betraying me. And I have yet to know anyone else. And to be fair, he wasn't even a Richter or really a loyalist, so I wouldn't really say it's like an official, like, oh, there is someone after all that has betrayed and gotten somewhere. There is hope for the anti-richter. There is hope for defectors. No, there is no hope. There is no success. You're going to you're going to either die into irrelevancy because you're all traitors now for betraying me, or you're going to join Hadrian and turn into a toxic asshole that calls people pedophiles. But yet there's proof that apparently those that are in command are actual pedophiles because they threaten to leak nudes, which has all been addressed. Do you want to end up like them? Do you want to end up like the guy that raids Richteria and loses extremely badly because a freaking mutant came up from behind and massacred the entire army of Hadrian Curzius, or whoever their leader is now? I don't think so. So, the last thing I think people are going to call or accuse or whatever are going to say the ego. Oh my god, you're so egotistical. Your ego is so bad. You don't think you can lose. You don't think it is. It's like, I mean, to be fair, dude, it's not really an ego. it's more of an annoyance. It's more of a like, I'm going to come out clean and I'm going to kind of expose what's going to happen because people are just dumb. Like I said before, for the 100th time, people should know this shit. They should know what's going to happen. People should know what a loyalty test is without me telling them that. I should have to tell people when there is these tests to ensure that they have willpower, to ensure that they are strong enough for the next major project, for the next major launch. There is not an ego there. It's just common sense. The enemy of mine is pathetic. I have yet to see otherwise. I'm being honest. If I said, oh no, they have a chance, that'd be dishonesty. So no, there is no ego, unless you want me to be dishonest. But obviously I don't really lie or scam or do anything scummy. So I'd rather not be dishonest for the sake of making any of mine who is probably toxic feel good about themselves. Right. At this point, I think I've hit the nail on the head. I mean, the first 10 minutes I hit the nail on the head. I can go on for hours if I wanted to. I've made 3 podcasts. I think I've done enough on the situation. If there are new issues you want to bring up that I haven't already addressed, okay, yeah, fair enough. But I'm not going to keep addressing the same thing. I'm not going to repeat myself for the same thing. There's no need to. There's no reason to repeat the same shit for the sake of making someone feel comfortable with their decision. If you were considering on even leaving me, which I doubt there really is anyone planning on doing that, why should I even consider trying to convince you otherwise? I mean, this is kind of a far-fetched relation, but if you're dating someone, should you have to think twice about being disloyal or cheating on someone? I mean, I know that's far-fetched, but, like, seriously? Should I have to persuade people? Is it my obligation to make sure that people aren't going to betray me because they're too stupid? Like, shouldn't people automatically have trust? Like, can't you just trust the plan? I shouldn't have an obligation to make people, to, like, prove to them about shit. That's not how it's worked. And that's not what I'm doing, by the way. I'm not doing this to prove something. I'm not trying to prove different points, really. Well, I am, I'm not. Half and half. I am trying to prove some things, and I'm kind of just pissed off. At the same time, it's not. At the same time, it's more of a laugh. I'm more or less mocking those who right now are propelling this prophecy, whatever they want to, this rumor going around. Richard is going to succeed. He's going to succeed. I know that for a fact he will. I mean, when Sim was successor, back when I took a break, not retired, I took a break that time, and this was listed. Go back and look at the videos. I said this. I said I'd return eventually, and I did. This one is not a basis of full-fledged retirement, but go back, and you'll see that Sim or whatever, we had like 10, 20 bloodline, and less than like 200 active loyalists. Now go to the dynasty now. We have over 110 bloodline. We have over 1,300 active loyalists in the dynasty group. Over 1,000 people in the Discord server. Like, I can go on. There is 10 times more people, and the successor we have now is competent. So should I need to go on? Should I need to go off on this? Not really. So, in all honesty, you should feel like an idiot if you watched this and realized how idiotic you are for making that decision. So there's one more thing I'm going to say, because I know some of the defects are like, well, I think that Richard is toxic, and he's kind of an asshole, and it's like, well, then you were never really loyal. You were never really loyal to this community. Okay, if you're loyal to this community, then why did you abandon everyone else? If Richard's really that bad, so if Richard's this evil guy that's going to abuse everyone, you would rather leave all of your friends behind that you've been loyal to and grew up with? You're just going to say, oh, you know what, let's just leave them all for dead. I mean, that's why I don't really take you that seriously. Those who are saying this whole logic, oh, Richard's this bad, evil person, and I'm just going to defect. I'm just going to leave because, I can't take it anymore. My mental health, I have mental health. Your mental health is tyranny because you're told to write 300 words. Like, what are you at, 50 words per minute? It's like going on a 10-minute patrol in a video game, man. Like, seriously? Like you can do grammar jacks up to 100, but you can't write a 300-word basic apology for being, I guess, a bit of a dick in a game night. I mean, holy shit. Oh, he's bipolar. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. He's just okay. Like, just follow directions. Why does it matter? Why does it even matter in the first place? He has expectations. It doesn't matter how he acts. It's how you act. Stop blaming Richard's actions for your own actions. Oh, he's, honestly, yeah, he takes everything seriously. Oh, I don't. It's like people don't even understand what they've been doing for the past less than a year. Most of you guys are new gens. That's not why I'm really concerned in the first place. A lot of these people are like, oh, I'm a 1-year loyalist. No, you're not, Daniel. You joined in Korea, went inactive for a while, and you were active in Octavia. So if we stretch that from Armored Division was what? Released in like late May. So we'll go from May, and he left in what, December? Do the math. Okay, that's like half a year. He betrayed. Came back. Lasted less than like 2 or 3 months. That's not a year. Okay, let's go on about Joseph Zambergen. Who the hell is this Joseph Spurbergen guy? Yeah, more like Joseph Spurgen, whatever. Xavier's is usually depressed. Okay, not surprised. He's usually in a bad mood. And then Eduardo, I mean, I guess he's more respectful about it. But at the same time, if we judged him, he's on a break currently. I heard he's on a break. I don't know if he actually defected or if he's on break. I don't even know what's going on with some of these people. It's just random, like, what is even going on here? Are you defecting? Are you taking a break? Are you retiring? Like, what's going on, big guy? But he joined in what, like November, October, probably October. And this break happened, what, early May? Do the math. None of these guys are 1-year dedicated loyalists. The only guy that you could arguably say was or is Oswald. But, I mean, we knew about Oswald. We knew that Oswald had an ego. We knew that Oswald had a very complex system. I've said this already. I predicted this already, that Oswald would eventually do this thing. So he's no surprise. Zach the Mosser, I mean, I spoke to Zach recently, and Zach says he's just retiring. He doesn't really care. So Zach's actually being respectful. But then I'm like, why is Zach trying to influence Leopold to hate Richard? What's going on with that? So, I mean, yeah, sure, you're trying to retire peacefully. But now you're trying to influence my members to go and join you on your, nice Holly branch of the dislike Richard train? Are you guys literally trying to split apart my entire collective for your own benefit? I mean, I can name every person at the top of my head right now on their actions and what they're doing. And how what they're doing is just straight up retarded. So that's just on their loyalty. So now that that's out of the way about their loyalty for those who are like, oh, what if they're a true loyalist? They're truly loyal to you. I mean, ask half these guys who are truly loyal to me, and I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised to meet someone that says, oh, yeah, I am unconditionally loyal to you, but I disagree with you. Oh, so you have a condition. They say, oh, no, it's not. Oh, it is a condition because you just said you're unconditionally loyal to me, but that you like Richards, or you don't like Richard, so you have a condition because obviously I do. You know what I mean? Some of these people aren't true loyalists by that definition. Okay, let's go about Daniel. Daniel is one of the few, or Oswald are one of the two of the people that don't really maintain the values right now. Okay, I say this again. Oswald down the road might say, oh, this is the truthers path, whatever. Daniel has always done this. He's done this before. He's not the most mentally stable guy, and he's clearly not very knowledge of Richterian culture. Doesn't know how to act like the average Richterian in the community. He's not really familiar with our clique. I mean, just like high school, there's cliques there, there's cliques here. He hasn't really found his clique. He's always just kind of been the guy that's British, and people crack jokes about it. His whole spiel about Americans and how we're all a bunch of insensitive bastards that, make fun of British people. Like, really? I mean, I'm Anglo. I have Anglo blood in myself. I mean, yeah, I'm like 70% Celtic, but the rest of me is like Anglo. I don't really understand this whole thing about, he's insensitive with Mariners, sensitive against British people, and, it's all toxic. It's all just big toxic. And, like, holy shit, man. Holy shit. I've addressed everything. If you want to debate me, it has to be something new. And I will put my Discord in the description. If you're going to make something retarded in the comment section, I might as well just remove you from the channel and you won't be able to comment ever again. If you are a defector and you are responding, I mean, if it's something stupid that I've already discussed here, that I can't be asked to respawn over and over and over again like a broken record, then I will probably consider deleting it. But if it's done in a matter that doesn't really seem annoying, then maybe I won't. Okay, that might seem a bit biased. It might seem like I'm censoring people and removing their free will, but to be fair, I mean, this is more for my loyalists, and it's more for those that are, well, no, it's more for those who are considering or thinking about this, those who are curious. Not really just the loyalists, but it is there for everyone. I've addressed every single faction in the video. I've not done something like this in a while because I've been so busy and can't be asked to go on an hour conversation about it. But you can do an hour podcast, but yeah, I can't really go on for an hour talking about Roblox, right? No, people understand that, yeah, I have free time. It's a matter of how I spend it. I can spend my free time doing work and studying for tests, or I can spend my free time doing this. I didn't have to do this, but now I'm probably going to get a lesser grade tomorrow on a test because I spent an hour doing this than preparing for that. But I mean, to be fair, I do have like 4 more hours of free time to do whatever else, so you can't really say that I effed up my entire schedule because, oh no, I have a test tomorrow. Whatever. At this point, it's becoming a bit autistic. I want to spurg out. Getting to that point, but that is all I really have. And, I mean, what else is there to address? On Saturday, there is going to be an addressing on the Oswald situation and all the other situations I haven't already addressed, so we're to attend that. It is a practice parade, but to be fair, I mean, when we say it's a practice, we mean, like, don't take it seriously. If you're going to shit your pants, well, then attend the practice rally because it's not going to be something too serious. I mean, shit. It doesn't bother me. I don't know if people think it bothers me that people are... I mean, I don't understand the symbolism behind this whole act. I mean, what are you commenting on YouTube going to resolve? I mean, how is a form going to, you know, to complain about Richard is not going to resolve your problems. It's not going to create a union to oppose Richard. At least in my opinion. It's going to spark questions about it. But I've pretty much addressed everything. I cannot wait to see the reaction to people's faces, and I cannot wait to laugh at those laughing it off. I mean, at this point, if you laugh it off, we're going to laugh right back at you. And then we're going to have to find a laugh at because you clearly are coping. If you respond to this and see it as a benefit, then you are simply coping. And I know that I'm glorifying this. I mean, I'm literally glorifying my own aggression at this point. But is there a reason why I shouldn't glorify this? I mean, how often do I do this? How often do I just go on YouTube and just address the entire thing for an hour in the most badass, dominating way possible? It's evident. It's evident that I've won. And if you're not with me, you're against me, you've lost. You have lost before you even started. Why? Because I predicted it. And, I mean, yeah, it's a metaphor that I'm always right, because, I mean, scientifically, that's not possible. But, it seems that way, doesn't it? Does it kind of seem that way? I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm always right, but, I mean, aren't I typically right about things? I mean, come on. So, let me put it this way. People that are with this whole, opposition, I mean, you have two options at this point. You won't be able to rejoin because, you would be purged if you did. But you could retire, you could just quit and just do nothing else and try to act like Zach and just be chill. Or you can join these other people in these raging comments and oppose me. And on top of all that, you can get laughed at a year later when your failed new leadership that is apparently more competent than Richard falls apart. That's up to you. That's up to you. And it doesn't matter how many people were on your team. It doesn't matter who leaves. Okay. as long as we're vibing, as long as we're thriving, we're winning. And if you can't sabotage that, if you can't do anything about that, then you have lost. Then you have lost, and I have won. And that's exactly how this is going to play out.